Hi, thanks for joining me today. My name's Coco. I thought I would make this 60-minute yoga flow for you today, focusing on the spine so that we can take our spine through a full range of movement. Often, the spine can get a little stiff or loses its fluidity, and that can affect areas beyond just the spine. So I want to focus on the 5 different major movements: the flexion, rounding the spine forward; extension, rounding the spine back; rotation, twisting the spine; side bending and lateral flexion of the spine, doing like some side bends; and axial extension, decompressing and vertically elongating the spine. So grab whatever props you need to make your practice complete, and let's meet on the mat. So meeting on our mat in a nice tabletop pose, finding the hands nice and spread out directly underneath the shoulders, the knees hip-width distance apart directly underneath the hips, and the feet can be curled under or on the tops of the feet, your preference, whatever feels good for you. But then once you get to this tabletop pose, instead of just sinking into the ground and just kind of like collapsing into the body, I want you to push up through the hands. Feel the shoulder protraction, and feel even here the core start to engage, start to turn on. So instead of just being relaxed, begin to push up and away from the mat. Nice. We're going to elongate the neck here, and we're just going to take a nice few breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose. Trying to get all of your head space here on the mat, and exhaling whatever doesn't serve you. Nice. One more time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice. Let's come into some flexion and extension of the spine. So we're going to inhale, drop the belly, We're going to inhale, drop the belly, take the gaze up, coming into cow pose. This nice long extension, pushing through the hands, still protracting the shoulders, taking the gaze even as far as up. And then exhale, begin to curl the tailbone down. Find some rounding in the spine as you continue to push away the mat. Taking the gaze down between the arms, maybe even to the thighs. Feeling this nice big flexion in the spine here. Inhale, drop the belly, take the gaze up, cow pose. Exhale, flexion, cat pose. And then begin to take it with your own breath here. Feeling your spine flex and extend. And sending the breath all the way down to the tailbone here. Yeah. Beginning just to find some energy in the spine, maybe drawing some energy up through the hands. And then feel free to sink back to your heels. Maybe to come forward. Making this a little bit more fun. Taking your look over your right shoulder and your left shoulder. 2 more breaths of your variation of cat-cow. Nice. And then let's meet in tabletop. And then we're just going to bring our hips to the left side of the mat as we really look over our right shoulder here. Try to drop the shoulder away from the ear. And then come back through center. And take it to the opposite side, knocking the hips to the right as we look over our left shoulder. Getting some lateral extension here in the side body. Nice. Coming back to center, bringing the toes to touching out behind you. And the knees wide as the mat, maybe even a little wider. And we're going to sink the hips down and walk the hands forward, coming into our child's pose. Yeah. So we're coming into an extended child's pose to begin. So we're allowing the forehead or the chest to really drop down towards the mat. Sinking back into the hips. either closing your eyes here, keeping them open so that you can be present to your mat space. Kindly asking whatever came before your practice today and after your practice to step aside for this next hour so that we can feel a little bit more at ease, a little bit more rejuvenated. And then really focus on the breath for these next few breaths, feeling the belly really inflate and deflate between the legs here. Nice. Staying here, bring the hands to prayer, and we're going to bring the hands up behind the nape of the neck, walking the elbows forward. Feeling free to set an intention or a mantra here for your practice in your day. Maybe just an invitation to focus on your breath for the next hour. One more nice deep breath here. And exhale, release the hands down. We're going to walk the hands over and off the right side of the mat, bringing the left hand up onto the right, dropping the forehead between the arms or on a block, and really sinking down in that left hip. Reaching through the fingertips, finding this lateral side extension here. And each exhalation, letting go of a little bit of tension in the hips, a little bit of that gripping. Walking the hands back through center. And over to the left side, maybe even off the mat. Bringing the right hand on top. Dropping the head down. Sinking into that right hip. And taking a nice deep breath in for this big, deep opening in the intercostals. Walk the hands back through center. And slowly make your way up to tabletop. Taking one round of cat-cow here. And then gently walking the hands forward, dropping the chest down. We're going to set up for a Sphinx pose, bringing the hands out in front of us. They are about shoulder width distance, and we're really plugging into the hands here as we draw our elbows directly underneath the shoulders. Rooting into our pelvis and the tops of the feet, feeling free to bring the feet out a little bit wider if you're a little tight in the low back. And then getting some extension in the neck as we take our gaze about 2 feet in front of us. Breathing into this lower back opening as we're finding extension here. Nice. My offering today is the idea of shifting perspective. There's a lot of burnout that has been going on with me and those around me today, recently. But instead of focusing on this idea of burning out and being too exhausted, I'm inviting you to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing rest as weakness, seeing rest as a haven and as strength, as knowing the body, as listening to the body. Nice. We'll take the gaze over our right shoulder, dropping again the shoulders away from the ears. And then we'll gently come back through center and take the gaze over our left shoulder. Nice. Gently come back through center. Push up onto the hands, come back to tabletop. We're going to come into a traditional Balasana child's pose. So bringing the knees to touching, the feet to touching. We're going to drop our bum down to our heels as we let our ribs come right on top of our knees. Feeling free to add a block here, either right underneath you or on top of your knees. And we'll just bring the hands out in front of us to act as a little cushion for our head. Sending the breath to each and every vertebrae to mentally create space to bring awareness to our spine. Two more nice deep breaths here. And then gently coming up, coming into tabletop, then extending the right leg out behind you and just slowly pushing back that heel to the back of the room. Curling the toes under and really feeling the stretch in the ankle and the calf. Set that knee down. We'll take it to the other side, extending the left leg out, curling the toes under on the mat, and just pushing the heel towards the back of the room. Set that knee down. We'll take it to the right side last time. Trying to keep the hips nice and square here. Set that knee down. Left side last time. Still pushing up through the hands, protracting the shoulders. And setting that knee down. Nice. All right, we're going to come into a high plank pose here. So extending both legs out, drawing the heels to the back of the room as we push up and out through the hands. Feeling free to come down on the knees here. And now we're just going to draw our core in, finding our plank pose. So instead of collapsing in kind of like we were, kind of like what I went over in cat-cow and coming into plank pose, we're going to draw the heels over the toes, engage the legs here, and really push up and out through the hands. Bringing the awareness to the core here as we draw our belly button in and up. One more breath. And then push back to downward facing dog, lifting the hips up, pushing through the hands, dropping the head between the arms, and bending the knees as needed here, pedaling out the feet. Taking your time to find your downward facing dog. Shaking the head yes and no a few times. Nice, and then we'll find 3 breaths of stillness here. Really rooting into the hands and finding that external rotation in the arms as we try to bring our elbow pits to face the opposite corners of the front of the mat. Drawing the heels down towards the mat here. If they don't touch, that's okay. But just having that energetic idea of your hips lifting up and the heels reaching down. One more breath. We're all going to come up onto our toes here, and we're going to tiptoe to the front of the mat for a forward fold. Taking as many steps as you need, really pushing into the hands here, and then finding your forward fold, bending in the knees as needed, dropping the ribs down towards the legs.
And just allowing the head to hang here. Shaking the head out as needed. Nice.
Nice. Bringing the right hand between the feet in front of you here. We're going to lift the left hand up, bending in the right knee. Bringing our gaze up towards the ceiling as we spiral our ribs up and open. Release that hand down. We'll take it to the opposite side. Bending in the left knee as we open that right arm up. And then setting that arm down. Grabbing opposite elbows here for ragdoll. Swaying side to side. Rooting down into all 4 quarters of the feet. And then releasing the hands down. Plugging into the feet here. Finding a nice slight bend to the knees. We're going to slowly roll up. Going slower than you think you should. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Having the chin and the chest the last thing. That come all the way up. And then reaching the arms all the way up. Palms facing one another. Fingertips spread wide. Take the gaze up to the ceiling. Nice. Bring the hands to kiss. And then down to heart center. Inhale, circle the arms up. And exhale down to heart center. 2 more times, circle the arms up. Exhale down to heart center. Last time, circle the arms up, take the gaze up. Maybe look back a little bit. And the hands to heart center. Nice. Bringing the hands to the hips here. We're going to inhale, reach the right arm up, find length. And then we're going to exhale, slowly find a side bend, rooting down into the feet, taking the gaze up to the ceiling, and breathing deeply into the side body here. Slowly come back up to center. And switch sides. Inhale the left arm up. Find length, find extension. And then slowly find that side bend, reaching to the right side of the room. Taking the gaze up, maybe even spiraling the ribs up towards the ceiling. Inhale back to center. Release the arms down. Find Tadasana here at the top of your mat. Finding the feet plugged in, the hands out to the side, palms open towards the front of the room. Stacking the shoulders over the hips, finding a slight bend in the knees, not locking anything out. Nice. Gently close the eyes or soften the gaze here. Let's breathe in for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Gently come back into your natural breath. Maybe coming back to your intention or your mantra. The idea of shifting your perspective, finding rest. Nice, and gently blink the eyes open. Let's bring the arms up to cactus arms here. So we have our shoulders in line with our elbows here, and our hands in line with our elbows. The palms are nice and open, and we're drawing the shoulders towards one another as the elbows are drawing to the back of the room. We're just going to slowly twist towards the right, and then come through center to the left, to the right, to the left. We're going to add on a little bit more breathing with this. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Staying rooted down into the feet. Taking these nice inhales and exhales nice and quick or as slow as needed. Back to center. Now we'll take the breathing to the opposite side. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Noticing if your shoulders or your elbows are dropping down, trying to still keep them engaged. 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Gently come back through center and just sway the arms side to side a few times, releasing out any tension, and then coming back through center. Let's bring the hands out in front of us and make little fists with our palms and just slowly circle them a few times to the outside of the room and then to the inside of the room. Nice. And then coming back to the top of your mat, if you're not there already, inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, fold forward. Breathing here to the back of the legs. Into the spine. And then planting the hands down onto a block or the mat. We're going to just bend the left knee as we keep the right leg straight. And then we're going to bend the right knee as we bring the left leg straight. Just coming into this walking Uttanasana. Staying in your forward fold, just bending one knee at a time. Breathing all the way into your hamstrings or any place of sensation or tightness. Nice. On your next inhale, bring your hands onto your legs, bringing them all the way up to the thighs. And push the thighs away with the palms as we draw the crown forward. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another and find length here. Let's all bring the hands out alongside of us into airplane arms, palms down, thumbs towards the outside of the room. Lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Airplane arms, lift up halfway, making this inverted L or 7 shape with your body. And exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lift up halfway, airplane arms, drawing the arms towards one another in the back of the room. And exhale, fold. Planting down into the feet, rise all the way up, find extension. Even with a gaze here, And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to high plank pose. Drawing the core up, finding the whole. From our high plank here, let's slowly lower the knees, the hips, the belly, and the chest. Bringing the arms out to T here, just resting the cheek, not doing anything for a moment. Feeling your body relax into the mat. And if the mind begins to wander, come back to your breath, your intention. It's hard, it's a practice. So if you're finding a little difficulty, don't beat yourself up. Know that every breath is a chance to start again. Pick up the head, rest the opposite cheek for just a few moments. Nice, and we're going to slowly set up for our cobra here. So bringing the hands directly next to the ribs here. Kind of like we're coming into chaturanga arms. We're drawing the elbows towards one another as we lift the shoulders and chest away from the mat, rooting down into the pelvis. We're going to slowly peel up, keeping a bend in the elbows here as we push into the hands. Exhale, release down. Inhale, come up. Really rooting to the pelvis, breathing here, breathing into any sensation in the lower back or back. And exhale down. We'll take that one more time. Inhale, maybe come up a little bit further than before. And exhale, release all the way down. Nice. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, curling the toes under here. Lift the knees and the thighs up off the mat. And then we're just going to try to push up to a high push up. Downward facing dog. Nice work. Rooting into the hands here. Inhale, reach the right leg up. Keep the toes pointed down as we lift from the heel. Trying to keep the hips square to the mat. And inhale, draw the knee to the nose. Exhale, three-legged dog. We're going to open up and stack the hips here. Pushing up and away with the hands. And then let's take some knee circles. Nice big knee circles. And then switch sides. Come back into three-legged dog. Set that foot down. Nice. Let's take it to the opposite side, lifting the left leg up. Heels up as the toes pointed down. Trying to keep the hips square here. And then inhale, draw the knee to the nose, high push-up. Exhale, three-legged dog. And then let's stack the hips, open up here. Then take some knee circles. Nice. Switch sides. Extend that leg out, three-legged dog, set that foot down. Nice, come back down onto the knees, find child's pose. Reaching the hands out long in front of you. Setting that forehead down. Letting the hips sink down and back. Nice. And staying with our hips sink down, let's take a thread the needle variation by sliding our right hand underneath the left, bringing the right temple down to the ground or a block. One more breath here. We'll slowly unwind. And bring the left hand, slide it underneath the right, bringing the left temple on the ground. Breathing into the shoulder girdle. Maybe even walking the hand underneath the shoulder to push on that shoulder. Maybe taking a half bind. Maybe just keep reaching that arm forward here. There's options. One more breath here. And slowly unwind. Make your way up into tabletop pose. Nice. We're going to extend the right leg out to the right side of the room, bringing the whole foot onto the ground. Trying to bring all four corners as we try to square our hips down towards the mat. Nice. Staying here or gently rocking towards the heels in the back of the room. Trying to keep that foot plugged into the earth as you come up and shift all the way over the shoulders and come all the way back down. Just rocking back and forth here. Breathing into the hip. One more time. And then coming back through center. Nice. We're going to swing that leg all the way out behind us, extending that leg out. And we're going to just bring the foot up towards the ceiling, like we're going to stomp our foot on the ceiling. And then trying to keep the hips square here, we're just going to pulse that foot up. Tiny little micro pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee out to the side and pulse up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that knee down. Nice. Maybe wiggle the hips back and forth a few times. And we're going to bring the left leg out, extend it out towards the left side of the room, bringing all four corners of the foot on the ground. Squaring the hips down towards the mat. We're just going to sink the hips back. And then gently come up and over the shoulders towards the front of the room. Working into the wrists. And then back. Yeah, and just continue on here. 2 more rounds. Plugging into the hands, we're going to lift that leg up and towards the back of the room. Toes pointed down here. Hips square to the mat. And then we're just going to draw our foot up towards the ceiling here. Tiny little micro pulses. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Kick the knee out to the side. And pulse up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that knee down. Wiggle the hip side to side. Yeah, remembering that life is 10% what you make it and 90% how you take it. Nice. We're going to bring our right foot to meet our right hand. Coming into a nice low lunge here. Keeping that front knee stacked over the ankle. Bringing the hands to frame the foot here. And walking the knee just like a knee print back here. Drawing that right hip crease back as we allow the hips to sink down towards the earth here. Nice. An important part of spinal health is also opening up the back, the lower back, the psoas. Good for sciatica or being tight in the IT band. Breathing into any of the sensation that you're feeling and not following the stories that come up. Nice. One more breath here. And then we're going to bring our hands onto the tops of our legs here, drawing our shoulders over our hips. And just breathing as we let our hips sink down. If you feel any pinching in the knee or any pinching in general, back off. Nice. Drop the hands down, bring that knee back, and wiggle the hips a few times. We'll take it to the other side, bringing the left foot where the left hand was, framing that front foot, stacking that front knee over the ankle, and just allowing the knee to come back one knee print here. Drawing that left hip crease back. Nice. Yeah, and remembering that I'm just here to make suggestions to help guide you. Yoga is practice, so if your poses don't look like me or maybe they're beyond what I look like, that's fine. It's a practice. So don't get hung up on yourself. And know that the work you're putting in counts for something. One more breath here. Now we're going to bring the hands onto the tops of the thighs, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Letting the hips drop down here. Yeah, and breathing. Dropping the hands down, coming back onto that knee. Nice. We're going to draw the knees out wide, draw the feet towards one another, and gently come up onto the toes here. Letting the heels connect. I don't know if you can see. And then bringing the hands out in front of us, coming into this froggy variation as we drop the head down. Nice. Slowly coming back to your tabletop. Curl the toes under, push the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet as needed. Nice. On your next inhale, bring the right foot to the right hand, setting up for warrior one. Pivot on that back toe. Set up your foundation, drawing that front knee forward as we bring the hands up here. Finding equal weight distribution in both feet. Engaging in that back leg and drawing that front knee forward. Spiraling the left ribs forward as we even take the gaze up. Nice. Softening in the face here. Not gripping, not holding, but finding strength from the four corners of the feet and energizing out all the way through the fingertips. One more breath here. Bring the hands down, bring that front foot back, downward facing dog. On your next exhale, left foot to left hand. Set up for warrior one. Taking your time to find your foundation here, to really set up your pose for success. Drawing that left hip crease back as we spiral the right ribs forward. Drawing the front knee towards that big toe. And keeping that back foot really engaged in the mat. Really plugged in. Maybe taking the gaze up to the hands. And exhale the hands down, frame that foot. Come into a high plank pose. Nice. Let's lower the knees, the hips, and the belly, chest all the way down. Keeping the hands plugged into the next to the ribs. Inhale, lift up, cobra pose. Exhale, down. Curl the toes under, tone the legs up, push into the hands, downward facing dog. Nice. Beautiful. 2 more nice deep breaths here. We'll bring our right foot to our right hand, setting up for a warrior 2 this time. Pivoting that back foot out a little bit more here. And cartwheeling the hands open, stacking the shoulders over the hips as we reach the arms to the front and the back of the room. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, take the gaze over those front fingertips as we draw that front knee forward. Extending all the way from the middle of the chest to the shoulders, out to the fingertips. Nice. 1 more breath here. And then we're going to drop our right arm down to our thigh. Reach the left arm up and over the ear. Extended side angle. Still plugging into that back foot. Not collapsing in on the shoulder here, but finding length from the shoulder to the ear, from the rib to the arm. Maybe taking the gaze up towards the ceiling as we spiral the ribs up for 1 more breath. Nice. Inhale, drop the arms down in between the legs here. Set that back leg down and come into your variation of lizard. Staying up on the hands, walking that foot out, even curling up onto that outer edge of the foot, and dropping the head. Breathing into the hips. If you're down on your forearms, slowly make your way back up onto your hands. Heel toe that foot back into center. Curl that back toe under. Keep the left hand into the mat as we bring the right hand up. Find a twist. Engaging in the back leg as we draw our front knee towards our ribs. Maybe even dropping that top hand behind you a little bit more, opening up. And then back through center. Take that front foot back, down dog. Two more breaths here. On your next exhale, bring your left foot to meet your right hand. Setting up for your warrior 2, pivoting on that back foot, finding both feet plugged in, then cartwheeling the hands open. Extending from the chest out to the fingertips, dropping the shoulders away from the ears as we draw that front knee forward. Taking our drishti over the front fingertips. Not gripping, not holding on, but breathing. One more breath here. And drop that forearm to the leg like you're holding a big pizza pie. And bring that right arm to the front of the room, over the ear here. Finding extension all the way from that back foot, the edge of the back foot, to the fingertips. Maybe taking the gaze up, spiraling the ribs up towards the ceiling. And then slowly drop that hand down. frame, coming into the inside of the leg, drop that knee down, heel toe that feet to the outer edge of the mat, maybe even rolling up on that foot. Come on to the hands or the forearms here and drop the head wherever you're at. Each exhale, letting go of the tension that you're holding on to. Maybe you're like, I'm not holding on to tension. Then good for you. Focusing on the breath either way. One more breath here. And then come up onto your hands if you aren't there already. Heel toe that foot back in. Curl that right foot under. Pop the right knee up. And find that twist as the right hand stays plugged in and the left reaches up. Draw the crown of the head to the front of the room as the gaze reaches up. Trying to draw everything in towards center, maybe even letting that top hand fall back a bit. And then slowly release out. Downward facing dog. Nice. We'll slowly make our way down onto our knees. Walk the knees forward. And then extend the legs out in front of us. Nice. Let's find a twist here. So let's actually come into an easy seat. Crossing the ankles here. Bringing the left hand onto the right knee. And bringing the right hand behind us. Drawing the crown of the head up as we drop the shoulders away. And then find length as we twist towards the back of the room. Inhale back through center. And we'll bring the right hand towards the left knee. Bring the left hand behind us like a second spine. Inhale, draw the crown up. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. And begin to twist towards the back of the room. Lengthening and extending in this twist. Bringing our spine in all different directions. And come back through center. Extend the legs out long. Inhale, root down into the sit bones as we reach the arms up. And then exhale, begin to reach up and forward, folding at the hips. And then dropping the hands down, dropping the head down. Two more breaths here. Slowly reach the hands up. Nice. And let's all gently make our way onto our backs here, drawing the knees into the chest and the forehead up to the knees. And then slowly release the shoulders down, bringing the arms out to T here.
We'll drop the legs over to the left side of the room. And take the gaze over to the right. Allowing the shoulder blades to root into the mat. Allowing gravity just to do its thing onto these other legs, to your only legs, to your legs over here. Inhale back up through center. And drop the legs over to the right side, bringing the gaze to the left. Inhale the knees back to center. Let's find happy baby. Grabbing for the outsides of the feet or the ankles, or wrapping the fingers around the toes. And just drawing the knees down towards the mat. Rocking on the lower back side to side here. Nice. Release the feet down towards the mat. Keep the knees up to the ceiling, and we'll just drop one leg in towards center at a time. Working into the hips. Nice. Then we're going to come into eagle legs on the right side. So bringing the right knee over the left leg. Bringing the arms out to T here. And stepping the left foot into the ground as we lift the hips up a little bit to the left. As we drop the legs down towards the left side of the mat. Taking the gaze over towards the right side of the room if that's in your practice today. Bring the attention to the core. Inhale the knees up to center. Unwind the knees here. Set the feet down. Eagle legs on the left. Wrapping the left knee over the right knee. Stopping into the right foot. Picking up the hips. Dropping them a little bit to the right as we bring the knees down. Taking the gaze all the way over to the left side of the room. Trying to nestle those shoulder blades underneath you. And relaxing into this twist. Bringing your attention to the core. Inhale the knees back to center. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze, rocking on the lower back. And then inhale, draw the forehead up towards the knees. Take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and find your Savasana. Coming into our final resting pose, being as mindful as you have been in every other asana here. Nestling the shoulders under, letting the hands spread open up towards the ceiling. letting the feet lay out wide, closing or softening the eyes here, and settling in. On each inhale, saying the word Om in your head. Each exhale, saying the word Om in your head. Om. Om. Trying to bring the focus back to the breath here for the last few moments of relaxation. Gently bringing small movement into your fingers and your toes. Reaching the hands out overhead, pointing and flexing the toes. Deepening your breath. And then bringing your hands up to your forehead center. Thank you so much for bringing some awareness and health into your spine today. I hope in any opportunity that your perspective goes in a negative direction, that you have the ability to shift it. Namaste.